Hello Year 5, this is Ms Heakin and this is Lesson 5 of your English lessons. You will need a pen and a pencil and your home learning book or some paper to write on. I'll give you a few seconds to get yourself ready and we'll begin. Okay, let's get started. So your writing task this week is to write a character description, and your description will be based on Coraline. You've written some descriptions already this week, so we're starting with our big write now today. So today you're going to write a character description. So everything you've learned Monday to Thursday, you're going to push all those ideas together and write an amazing character description. So let's just recap what we've learnt this week. An expanded noun phrase adds description. It includes a determiner and adjective noun. Your turn. What does it include? Determiner, adjective, noun. Fantastic. So which of these sentences uses an expanded noun phrase and how do you know? 1, 2 or 3 in your books, tick and cross. Where their eyes should be, instead were the big shiny buttons. Coraline found reading her books very trivial compared to exploring outside. The dark, eerie hallway led into another room. Pause the video now and write your answers. Okay, let's see how we did. So in the first one, where the eyes should be, instead were the big shiny buttons. We know big shiny buttons. The big shiny buttons is an expanded noun phrase. Coraline found reading her books very trivial compared to exploring outside. There's no expanded noun phrase there. The dark, eerie hallway led into another room. The dark, eerie hallway, we know is an expanded noun phrase. The determiner, adjective, dark and eerie, noun is hallway. Okay, moving on to recap. We learnt about similes. A simile describes something by comparing it to something else using like or as. Your turn. What does it do? It describes something by comparing, and it needs to use 2 words, like or as. Superstars. So which of these sentences uses a simile and how do you know? 1, 2 and 3 in your books, tick and cross. The sea was as blue as a sapphire. The door was thick like fog. Coraline's eyes were ice as she stared at the door. Pause the video now to write your answers. Okay, let's see how we did. So the sea was as blue as a sapphire, comparing the sea to a blue, because it's blue, to a sapphire, that using as, that's a tick, that's a simile. The door was thick like fog, comparing the thick to the fog, using like, another tick, simile. Coraline's eyes were ice, that is not a simile. Coraline's eyes were ice, it's not a simile. What could it be? To recap, a metaphor. A metaphor is a way of describing something by saying it is something else. Your turn. So it's describing something by saying it is something else. Not that it like or as, not comparing, it is something else. So metaphor is a word or phrase used to describe something as if it were something else. For example, a wave of terror washed over him. The terror isn't actually a wave, but a wave is a good way to describe the feeling. Or another example, Jess is dynamite. Jess isn't made of dynamite, but it's a good way to explain how exciting she is. Have I identified the metaphor? How do you know? 1, 2 and 3 in your books. Remember, there might be a metaphor in the sentence, but if I have not underlined it, then it is not a metaphor. Then I have not identified it. 1, 2 or 3 in your books, tick or cross. The room was a zoo. Coraline's eyes blazed like lava. The clouds sailed across the sky. Pause the video now and write your answers. Okay, let's have a look. So the room was a zoo. Coraline is a metaphor because it's saying the room is a zoo. Coraline's eyes blaze like lava. That is not a metaphor, it is a simile. Superstars, because eyes blaze like lava. The clouds sailed across the sky. That's what the clouds are doing. They are sailing across the sky. That is a metaphor. To recap, hyphens. Hyphens are shorter than dashes and link two words so the word or phrase makes sense. You need to remember with your hyphens that the two words you are linking, that it will make sense. It can't just be any word you hyphen. It needs to be making sense. So a hyphen is shorter than a dash and joins two words together. There are no spaces between a hyphen and the words. As we can see, 25, not 20 space hyphen 5. We can see that there shouldn't be a space. And they're used to clarify the meaning of a word and avoid ambiguity. Paula decided to resign from her job. That means she's quitting. Whereas Steve re-signed his contract. That hyphen is telling us he's signed up for another year. He's re-signed it. So it can be used to avoid ambiguity or confusion in our writing. So which of these sentences has used a hyphen correctly and how do you know? 1, 2 and 3 in your books and tick or cross. Coraline's mother was tight-fisted. Her father was as tall as a giraffe. Coraline instantly felt cold-blooded. Pause the video now and write your answer. Okay, let's have a look. So, Coraline's mother was tight-fisted. Tight-fisted, we can hyphen. So that's been used correctly. Her father was as tall as a giraffe. A hyphen has not been used. We know that's a simile. Coraline instantly felt cold-blooded. The hyphen has been used correctly. Between cold and blooded. So, today is your big write. This is when you are pushing all your ideas together, looking through your work from the last few days and writing your character description. So this is when you plan. What do we know about Coraline? Think what you have learned the last 5 days in Destination Reader about Coraline. You've read a few chapters now, so you've learned more about the character. You need to make a plan now. Think about her appearance, what you've learned about. Anything about her family, the setting, what we've learned. Has it just happened in the house? Has she been other places, in the garden, into town? Her personality. What is she like as a person? What are her likes and dislikes? So now what I would do is on your piece of paper or in your book, write down your plan about Coraline, including these headings. What do you know about her so far? And this will help you with your character description. Pause the video now to write your plan. Okay, so you should have your plan to help you with your writing. So your writing task today is a character description of Coraline. Use your plan and think of everything we've learned this week in Destination Reader about Coraline. Include setting, family, personality and appearance, and use your expanded noun phrases, similes, metaphors and hyphens in your writing. Okay, I want to see an amazing piece of writing using all these features you've learnt all week and see what you have understood about the text about Coraline. Good luck, Year 5. if we have a look here, we have the model text that you could use to help you. Coraline is an 11-year-old girl who lives with her mother and father. The house she lives in is as big as a giant as it has lots of flats. Coraline is a very curious child and is extremely quick-witted. Coraline loves to explore. She enjoys being outside, scavenging in the spacious garden and seeing what she might discover. Coraline is unimpressed by her father's delicious dinners and prefers to eat microwave chips. She's quite a rebellious child and has the heart of a lion. Her biggest fear is the hideous furry spiders she sees crawling in the garden. Coraline can often feel lonely and spends her time wandering the garden. The lush grass is a green blanket. If you read through this text, looking at what I've highlighted in red, you'll see the features. So I have expanded noun phrases, her father's delicious dinners, the hideous furry spiders, the lush grass, the spacious garden. I have some similes, as big as a giant. I have a metaphor, the lush grass is a green blanket, and I didn't highlight it, but the heart of a lion. I have hyphens, 11-year-old girl, quick-witted. Okay, so that's how you're doing it. That's what you should use this to help you. You're writing the character description, but weaving in all these features to make your writing extra special and to make it shine like a diamond. See, I used a simile. So off you go, year 5. Let's make a really good piece of writing using all these features and get an amazing character description of Coraline. Good luck.